On the border between California and Oregon, in the Klamath National Forest, lies a popular camping site called Mystic Pines. Every summer, the camp becomes a refuge for families, scouts, and hiking enthusiasts wanting to immerse themselves in the wild beauty of nature. However, one summer, this idyllic location became the setting for a horrifying story. It was the summer of 2023 when everything changed. The camp was busier than usual, and among the campers was a group of college students from the University of California, Berkeley. These students were there for a field biology course, led by their charismatic professor, Dr. Hansen. Dr. Hansen was a respected biologist and a favorite among the students for his passion for teaching and his enthusiasm for nature. However, none of them would ever suspect the dark truth hiding behind his affable smile. The first week of camping went as planned, with the students engaged in explorations, studies, and group activities. However, in the second week, one of the students, a boy named Max, mysteriously disappeared. The students and Dr. Hansen searched for Max in the surrounding forest, but to no avail. The police were called, but they found no trace of the boy. The students were left shocked, and Dr. Hansen assured them that he would do his best to assist the authorities in finding Max. But as the police and volunteers searched for Max, another student disappeared. Then another. Fear spread among the remaining students, and the Mystic Pines camp became a place of terror. That's when a student named Lisa found a note hidden in Dr. Hansen's tent. The note contained a list of names, the names of the missing students. Shaken by this discovery, Lisa decided to follow Dr. Hansen during one of his nightly excursions into the forest. Lisa saw Dr. Hansen enter a hidden cave. Gathering all her courage, she decided to follow him. The inside of the cave was lit by torches, and within, Lisa found a scene of horror, the missing students, now lifeless. Lisa fled from the cave and returned to camp, where she reported what she had discovered. Dr. Hansen was arrested, and the camp was evacuated. The students returned home, but with a sense of horror and betrayal. During the police interrogation, the reasons behind this massacre were discovered. Dr. Hansen had always been a man of science, committed to research and the study of life. From an early age, he had chosen to dedicate his life to science and had neglected other parts of his life, including personal relationships. He had never married, had no children, and had no real circle of friends. As he aged, unhappiness crept into his heart. He looked at his students and saw their youth, their cheerfulness, their love for life, and felt a sharp sense of envy. He hated the way they laughed and joked, the way they enjoyed themselves at the camp. He saw their happiness as an affront to his loneliness. His resentment grew, becoming a dark and twisted feeling. He decided that if he could not be happy, no one should be. And so, he began to plan. Mystic Pines camp was the perfect place for his dark purposes. Away from civilization, nestled in the wild beauty of the Klamath National Forest, it was the ideal place to make someone disappear. After Dr. Hansen's arrest and the camp's evacuation, the news spread rapidly. The scientific community was shaken. The students at the University of California, Berkeley, were devastated. No one could have ever imagined that their respected professor was capable of such atrocities. In the months that followed, the surviving students tried to recover from the trauma. Some left the university, unable to face the memories of the camp. Others decided to stay, choosing to honor the memory of their peers by pursuing their passion for science. In the heart of Pennsylvania, a few miles from historic Gettysburg, lies the Whispering Pines campground. Every summer, families, scouts, hikers, and history buffs flock to the place, drawn in by the beauty of the landscape, the historical charm, and the clean, fresh air. It was July 2025 when a dozen families arrived at the campground for the traditional annual Miller family reunion. The patriarch of the family, Old Man Miller, was a generous and benevolent individual. He was loved by everyone in the camp, especially the children, to whom he would tell stories about the Civil War and the ghosts that, he claimed, still roamed the fields of Gettysburg. One of the youngest members of the Miller family was a 14-year-old boy named Timmy. Timmy was known for his enthusiasm for adventure and his tireless curiosity. He loved exploring the surrounding woods, searching for fossils along the creek, and, above all, listening to Old Man Miller's stories. The summer proceeded as expected, with families enjoying barbecues, baseball games, and evenings around the fire. However, in mid-July, a shocking event occurred. During one of his explorations, Timmy found Old Man Miller's lifeless body in the woods. The death of the old patriarch was a severe blow to the family and the campground community. The police concluded that the death was due to natural causes, but Timmy was not convinced. Something didn't add up. Old Man Miller had been in good health, and Timmy noticed some strange signs at the death scene. He decided to investigate. With the help of his older cousin, Jenny, Timmy began gathering clues. They found an empty bottle hidden in the bushes near where Old Man Miller had been found, a type of bottle that no one in their family used. Also, they noticed that one of their uncles, Uncle Bob, was acting strange, avoiding eye contact, and behaving nervously. After days of investigation and cross-referencing the various family members, Timmy and Jenny discovered the truth. Uncle Bob, jealous of the respect and love everyone had for Old Man Miller, had poisoned the old patriarch. The bottle that Timmy had found contained the poison that Bob had used. The day after Timmy's discovery, things unraveled rapidly. Uncle Bob was arrested, and the truth about Old Man Miller's murder came to light. However, during the trial, disturbing new details emerged. Uncle Bob was not the only one involved in the murder. Some other members of the Miller family, those who seemed the most distressed and innocent, were actually accomplices in the heinous crime. The family that Timmy loved and had always believed in was crumbling before his eyes. Everyone had their reasons. Some were jealous of Old Man Miller's influence, others were tired of his stories, some simply couldn't stand his character. Regardless of the motives, they had committed the unthinkable, they had planned and executed the death of the patriarch. After the revelations, the Miller family was broken. Timmy was placed with a distant family, far away from Pennsylvania and the painful memories of Whispering Pines. But even as he adjusted to his new life, Timmy made a promise to himself. He would continue to investigate. Despite the painful truth, he wanted to understand why his family had done what they had done. He wanted to understand the real motivation hidden behind Old Man Miller's murder. Not to justify their actions, but to find peace and meaning amidst the chaos. And so, as life went on and the seasons changed, one thing remained constant. Timmy, the little detective with a big, brave heart, continued his quest for the truth, armed with unwavering determination and the hope of one day finding peace. In the heart of the fascinating Blue Ridge Mountains, North Carolina, lies the peaceful town of Asheville. Despite its serene atmosphere, the summer of 2026 would be marked by an event that would shake the entire community. Anna, a young and brilliant elementary school teacher, was the light of the town. She was loved by all, her students, their parents, and most importantly, her boyfriend, Mark. Mark was a young, respected real estate agent with an impeccable reputation. They seemed like the perfect couple, always together, always happy. But one August night, fate changed the course of their lives. Anna did not come home after a school meeting. Mark, concerned, began to look for her. With the help of the local police and community volunteers, they launched a massive search. After 2 days of anxiety and fear, Anna's lifeless body was found in an old abandoned shed on the outskirts of town. The news of her death plunged Asheville into an abyss of sorrow and disbelief. How could this have happened? The investigation into Anna's death began immediately. The police interviewed everyone who knew her, trying to reconstruct the last moments of her life. Mark, devastated, was among the first to offer his help. Not only was he Anna's boyfriend, but he was also one of the few who had last seen her. Mark became a central figure in the investigation, providing valuable information and assisting the police in every possible way. He seemed driven by a deep desire for justice, by a need to find the culprit of his beloved's death. However, after weeks of investigation, things took an unexpected turn. During a routine check of the house that Mark and Anna shared, the police found a suspicious item. It was a ring, the ring that Anna always wore, hidden in a drawer of Mark's desk. This ring had been given to Anna by her mother, but it was mysteriously absent when they found her body. When the police presented the ring to Mark, his reaction was of shock and confusion. He couldn't explain how it had ended up in his drawer. This detail, along with small inconsistencies in his statements, began to raise doubts among the investigators. With heavy hearts, the police decided to delve deeper into Mark's role. After a more detailed investigation, new damning evidence emerged. The DNA traces under Anna's nails matched Mark's, and phone record analysis revealed that Mark was the last person Anna had talked to on the night of her disappearance. Mark was arrested for Anna's murder. The news of his guilt was a hard blow to the Asheville community, which had united in its grief. The image of Mark, once respected and loved, was shattered. The man who had helped seek justice for Anna was actually responsible for her death. The trial was swift. The evidence against Mark was overwhelming, and despite his continued claims of innocence, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Asheville remained for a long time in the shadow of this horrific event, but over time, the community managed to heal. Anna was never forgotten, and the memory of her kindness and smile served as a reminder that, despite tragedy, life had to go on. Mark's conviction caused a sensation not only in Asheville but across the state. The local press and social media were full of speculations and theories about why he might have killed the woman he loved. But Mark remained silent, his motivations remained a mystery. However, some months after the conviction, an anonymous package arrived at the Asheville police station. It contained a diary, and the anonymous sender claimed it belonged to Mark. In the diary, Mark described his feelings of inadequacy and his struggle to maintain an image of success and perfection. Anna was loved by everyone, she was the light of the town, while he always felt in the shadows. The pressure to live up to her, to be worthy of Anna, had become unbearable for him. He wrote in the diary, "I couldn't bear the idea of disappointing her, of letting her see who I truly was. I thought it would be better if she was gone forever, rather than seeing her suffer because of me." Even though these words offered an explanation, they did not justify his actions. The discovery of the diary did nothing but confirm his guilt, adding just another layer of tragedy to the story. The news of the diary and its contents made the entire community of Asheville reflect on the pressure of perfection and the weight of social expectations. Even though the loss of Anna could not be compensated, the tragedy served as a warning about the need to address mental health issues and to speak openly about our struggles.